How bizarre is the fact that some of the wealthiest people in India live in Gurugram, but they live in slum-like environment.
The engineer-in-chief of the PWD in the hierarchy of the government is nowhere. You will not see him in any important meeting.
You had Arvind Kejriwal, a total anarchist, absolute, who became chief minister and who brought the state to further ruin. Now let's see what Rekha Gupta does. Other than inaugurating sewers, I don't know what else is going to happen.
It's an absolute shame you called Gurugram. What is it that he said that ab main chup nahi reh sakta?
We are all comfortable in our cocoons and we don't give a damn as long as our house is protected. But the cities are unlivable. I believe that this country can do better. That's my issue. So it's not a rant, it's a wake-up call.
People like you have worked in the bureaucracy and worked in Delhi for years together. Why was it not done?
I think you can call it an unplanned city. We have never used technology
exactly
in developing these cities.
Now, we have the worst civil engineers in India.
Trump said that we have a dead economy, and Rahul Gandhi agreeing with Donald Trump.
His self-hatred has now become a hatred for India. His angst against Narendra Modi has morphed into an angst against India. To my mind, he is showing a total lack of upbringing. It's a travesty that he belongs to a dynasty that was once part of our freedom struggle. The behavior of Rahul Gandhi is abysmal. If I were his mother and he was older, I would have slapped him.
This episode is powered by easemytrip.com. Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the ENI podcast with Smita Prakash. My guests today are Suhel Seth, brand strategist, and Omesh Saigal, former chief secretary of Delhi. The episode centers around urban decay. Why are our cities so unlivable? What can be done to improve the living conditions of the people who live in our metros? Thank you, Suhel, for being part of the podcast. Those who come more than 2 times on the podcast, I call them RPGs, repeat performance guests. So you're one of those now.
How many others?
Quite a few now. But I've been doing this for quite a while now. I think three years by the time we air this. But anyway, thank you so much. And you know how this podcast started, this episode started is because of what I saw you posting on Instagram. Umeji, I'm going to bring you in also to understand how cities should be governed, especially the capital. Thank you so much for being part of the podcast. But first, I'm going to play this, what Suhel had recorded. And this is what got me thinking that, it's time to find solutions. And urban apathy is what he speaks about. And it's something that every monsoons we put out these stories as journalists and say that, water logging ho gaya, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, garbage out on the streets. And, all these things we say and then forget about it. Then comes November and then the Parali season and we say, the air is so bad. And then till it is January or whatever, and then we forget about that. Then comes water crisis. It's cyclical. And so that's why first I want to play this and then we can discuss it. Zara play karo, please.
It is tragic that while many of us are working towards building brand India, and I mean corporates, citizens, governments, we have led ourselves to an era of unimaginable urban decay. Look at all our major cities. They are poster boys of the worst misery that you can inflict on a city. Our roads are dug up, the drainage is inadequate. Every year we know the monsoons will hit us and every year there is flooding. It seems no one cares. The media raises these issues from time to time, but again, it's an annual ritual. The thing is, cities and their leaders must recognize the damage that this is causing. So when you see headlines in international newspapers saying that people couldn't get to work because of floods, you begin to imagine that how is India talking about being the 4th largest economy, a $4 trillion economy in the future, when basic hygiene, basic infrastructure is so miserable. I don't know what's going to happen because nothing seems to. Look at Bombay, look at Gurugram, look at Madras, Bangalore. These are hellholes. And people don't realize that because for a lot, it's comfortable and for a lot, they've come to terms with this reality. But this reality must change Because if this reality doesn't change, the damage will be to brand India, the damage will be to our investment potential, and the damage will be to our reputation as a great nation. Sometimes I begin to wonder why we've come to such a pass, and then one doesn't have all the answers, but one knows that it is a lack of political will, it is a lack of bureaucratic leadership, and at times, citizen apathy. If this doesn't improve things, nothing will. So we need to take a call of the kind of India we want to see. An India that is riddled with craters on roads, or an India that is both livable and attractive. Thank you.
Okay, so this happened and it got me thinking too. And I also saw what you said at the Indian Express event when you said, it's an absolute shame you called Gurugram. What is it that led you to do this? I mean, some will say, ye to rant hai, which we all do every year. But what is it that he said that ab main chup nahi reh sakta? I can't now just take this as, something that happens.
So I live in Gurugram, and for better or worse, I have a lot of visitors coming to see me. And I'm very proud of where I live. But I'm certainly dismayed by the surroundings of where I live. And there are visitors from all over the world, corporate leaders, political leaders. And they always say that once we enter the complex, it's paradise. But why is life so difficult outside? And I began to wonder. I have been tweeting, Smita, about these issues ad nauseum since 2015. ML Khattar was the chief minister. Then this gentleman, Naib Singh Saini, came. Both have been utterly useless and incompetent. Both. One has got a promotion to the cabinet and the other is the chief minister. Now, it is not my case at all. And you know me well enough to believe and know that I don't give a damn about political alignments. So whether it's the Congress or the BJP, I will treat them with equal displeasure should there be no work done. We've been seeing that some of the largest corporates in India, their CEOs are all based in Gurugram. How much intelligence does it take for someone who runs Haryana to understand that if Gurugram is your golden goose, where it contributes the highest number of taxes compared to all the other cities in Haryana combined, more than other cities combined, why would you not look after basic infrastructure? Now, every time I raise this issue, I'm told, oh, there's a problem with citizens, there's a problem with the government, oh, there's corruption, oh, there's a developer-government nexus. I don't care. Do I pay my taxes? Yes. Do I pay my house tax on time? Yes. Is asking for garbage removal asking for the moon? No. These people just don't understand. So when I went on the rampage that day at the Express event, after that I got several calls from the government. Pradeep Dhaya, who's the commissioner of the MCG, the Municipal Corporation, Rajiv Jaitley, the BJP spokesperson and media advisor to Saini, another gentleman called Pawan Chowdhury, who, by the way, looks after international investment into Haryana. I mean, therein lies the irony. And I told all these three gentlemen that I have nothing personal. People are genuinely fed up. But again, Smita, people are too scared in our country to take the paws on.
Yeah.
Once this Indian Express thing appeared, then it opened, no pun intended, the floodgates of more and more public opinion. More and more people were emboldened to share visuals, and that is happening to this day. And it's good. Citizens cannot escape responsibility either. What happens is we are all comfortable in our cocoons, and we don't give a damn as long as our house is protected. But the cities are unlivable. Look at what's happening in Bangalore. When I tweeted, and when this conversation went viral, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw said, but our Bangalore is no better.
Yeah.
People from Bombay. There was a very famous architect called Pinakin Patel from Alibag who wrote to me saying, why don't you also raise the issue of Alibag? Look, I'm not an activist. I'm an honest, tax-paying citizen who loves his country and who knows the potential of his country. I'm saying this because I believe that this country can do better. That's my issue. So it's not a rant, it's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
That's about
I
it.
totally get it. Umeshji, what Suhel is saying is it's true. It's, anybody who's lived in Delhi, he lives in Gurugram, which is literally like a satellite town, but to Delhi, or if you want to see NCR or whatever. But it's the same with Delhi. Every year, it takes decades to build flyovers, and once the flyover is built, then you have a traffic jam at the end of that flyover because nobody thought that flyover से तेज से गाड़ियाँ आएंगी और वहाँ पे सब जाके jam हो जाएगा, and then there is a hospital right next to where the traffic, the flyover ends. No planning at all about how it's to be done. For years together we suffer, and this thing is, oh, we are a developing nation. ये होता है developing country. How long are we supposed to take this? क्यों होता है ऐसे?
As far as Delhi is concerned, I must say it was a city of 9 lakh population in 1947. And much of the population is in migrations. It's migrations from within the country. It's about 5 lakhs a year. That continues. In the 80s, when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, and they had Congress governments in the entire states around Delhi, the National Capital Region Act was passed. That act was National Capital Region Act, but it was just a planning board. I have been heading that planning board for 5.5 years. All that you did was plan. You had no right of implementation. You had no right to verify the implementation. You had no right to check the implementation. You just planned, drew up a plan. You made a regional plan and said there will be no population within 1 kilometer of the border. If you read that act and you see how badly it has been violated. In fact, we are building roads on the borders of Delhi. Now, Gurgaon itself is basically not part of NCR. It is, but it's not part of NCR. NCR goes up to Sonipat, Panipat, Bulandshahr, and much beyond Gurgaon. But what has happened is, and part of the reason is that after the emergency or during the emergency, suddenly they decided that we have to clear Delhi of Jugis, and the Jugis were cleared and taken to Noida.
Okay, UP.
So Noida was the first complex, but it is an industrial city.
Try telling them Noida.
I think Noida people should know that they were actually the descendants of Jugis.
So then suddenly this new Okhla Industrial Development Authority came up. And the idea was that you will shift industries from Delhi to Noida, etc. I think that itself, because Rajiv Gandhi brought the National Capital Region Act much later, and this, what I am telling you, is during the emergency when massive Jugis were replaced.
So 1975,
Sanjay Gandhi.
1984.
Okay.
That much of planning these chaps did.
And in spite of that, the mess.
Yeah.
Now, take Noida. There is no railway station there. There is no bus station there. There is no city center there. These three important infrastructures for a city.
Because it was supposed to be just Jugis. So
No, it was just supposed to be an
anything.
industrial development authority. It was an
So
industrial
industry
area.
means you have factory workers coming.
No, I am.
Wasn't
I
it
can't
New
answer.
Okhla Industrial Development Authority?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Okhla, right?
New Okhla.
Yeah, that is what Noida is.
Can you imagine? And those guys believe that they're living, in Manhattan.
So
If you stop being a Gurgaon snob right now.
Correct.
now let's take Gurgaon. Again, no railway station, no connectivity with the rest of the country.
But
We've got a
Gurgaon-
sea.
No,
there is
Gurgaon.
We've
doesn't
got a
have railway
functioning
station,
river.
no. In Gurgaon.
Yeah, every monsoon.
No, every monsoon it is there. No, the only place where water can go is the Yamuna. Now, why did the Mughals, why didn't the earlier kings, Tughlaqabad, Sri Fort, why were these areas selected? Why was West Delhi not selected? Why was East Delhi not selected? See, 5% of Delhi is ridge.
Okay.
So, area which is raised. Now, Supreme Court has banned all construction on the ridge.
So-called,
So
yeah.
no construction can come on the ridge. But the earlier developments of Delhi, whether it was the Mughals or the British, it was either in the civil lines or British. New Delhi was, again, New Delhi is a raised area. So the entire drainage system was designed to flow by gravity. Now it flows by gravity only if you have an elevation. So the 5% of the area you have elevation, so water will flow by gravity into the Jamuna, provided it's not.
So where is Minto Bridge, by your logic?
Minto Bridge is below level of Jamuna, and Minto Bridge is even now much below the level of Jamuna. So
Which is why it collects.
That is why it collects there, and it can't be taken out. If you take it out, you still take it out when Jamuna is in floods.
So
where
you
does the water go?
Go.
It can't go. So Delhi has come up. We have the planning.
So basically it's a nala.
Basically Delhi is, you can call it an unplanned city. Whatever the DDA people may say, whatever the government may say, it is a totally unplanned city. People have been forced. Patel Nagar came up because refugees had to be settled. Rajendra Nagar came up. Your Panchsheel and all came up. All these areas, West Delhi, North Delhi, East Delhi, they all came up because of different circumstances,
Golf
not because of planning.
Mukul Rohatgi, the lawyer, his entire house flooded.
Now what happened? Now came the DLF. Cleverly, they convinced Hindustan Lever that you have offices in 9-10 places in Delhi. I'll give you one office in Gurugram. You come there. So there's Hindustan Lever, which was a big company in those days.
Still
now,
is.
Of course, IT. Now IT and all have come up. Shifted there. That suddenly became the international attention. And you started these multi-story buildings. Why has Gurugram not developed? Why there was no Raja Maharaja developing Gurugram? Why? Because the water table is so low. The land is so banjar. Land is terrible. Nothing grows there. That is why Gurugram didn't come up. Now it came up because multi-storied buildings are permitted. It's a total lack of planning. You can do what you like. And we know, I'm not going to talk BLF or anything like this, but we know how they came up. Thousands of acres of land were required. Whatever little agriculture was going on was thrown out. And suddenly, these colonies...
But that's how all our cities have come up.
No, that's
We're totally unplanned manner that, okay, somebody comes and picks up land, somebody develops.
If such a thing,
banjar zameen hai to aane do fir
if such a thing happens, how do you expect things to go well?
Yeah, it's wrong.
So, it's wrong. So, that is why Sonipat, Panipat, Bulandshahr, Meerut, that is why they were included in the NCR. In fact, NCR has been extended even further now. But there's nothing come up there. Everything is coming up within distance of Delhi. Single airport, single railway station. Now Delhi has 2 or 3. Noida has none. Gurgaon has none. So they all converge into Delhi. So if you are traveling from Gurgaon to Delhi, you have to select your time. You can't travel there at 4 or 5 p.m. It's impossible.
No, but explain to me that all of you have worked, people like you have worked in the bureaucracy and worked in Delhi for years together. Why was it not done?
I'll give you one example.
For decades,
with due respect to Saigal sir, the first people to shoot would be the bureaucrats, other than him.
Including me.
No, I said other than him.
Including me.
I'll tell you, the bureaucracy has been the bane of India. Whether you like it or not, there are some exceptional bureaucrats. There is no question. Saigal Sahab, I was just telling about S.V. Regunathan, who was Chief Secretary under Sheila Dikshit, one of the Chief Secretaries at that time. And we did Bhagidari. Point is that you tell me, Saigal Sahab, after hearing you today on Smita's widely received podcast, what faith and confidence are people of this country going to have in our urban centers and in our urban development planning? If the former Chief Secretary of Delhi says Delhi was unplanned and the Mughals did it well, nowadays we are blaming Nehru for a lot. Now should we go back and start blaming Akbar? Go further back? But I don't know how far back do we need to go.
And okay, fine, jisne bhi kiya. Why now? How long do we take
what
this?
I'm going to say, this is an attack on bureaucrats, which is probably justified. You can attack the politicians, which is probably justified.
वो तो रोज ही करते हैं.
Which is probably justified. But remember
No,
thing,
let's attack Donald Trump now.
We have never used technology in developing these cities.
Correct.
And technology has always been in the back. You have the CSIR, see what they have done. I was Joint Secretary there also. You have 60 laboratories, 50, 40 laboratories, all total nothing. Now,
There you are.
urban problems like Siri in Nagpur, they deal with urban problems. Now, let us take the problem of water discharge, which is very crucial as you see.
Yeah, right now we are going through
we see
monsoons right
rivers.
now. Yeah.
And you see bigger rivers in Gurugram than in Delhi. Where is water discharge? All water is discharged into the Jamna. There is no other way that water can be discharged. We have thought of water harvesting, talked about it for a long time. But all that we have done is that if you have a roof in your house, you have roof. When I had suggested to these technology people that these roads, you see, you make a flyover. Now, flyover means it's a kilometer or half a kilometer long. So, all that range which falls there is going to collect in a very small area
Very right.
when the flyover ends. So, what is happening there? So, why don't you harvest the water there?
Correct.
Yeah.
Take it down into the ground. What they say is that it will pollute the groundwater. Now, the point is, my statement may be unscientific, but you are also equally unscientific. Have you made a study of that? Have you made a study that can we not design a harvesting system which will protect us, because they say the rubber tires are there, and these rubber tires could be collecting a lot of pollutants. Now, have we studied this? Have we worked out a system? I was recently discussing with the present chairman of the NDMC. He has started a lovely experiment. I don't know how it will come about. I have not checked up with him. He is harvesting the water in 4 places in the New Delhi municipal area where water gets logged. Now he will take it into the ground. I don't know what technology he is using. What is needed is, we have so many IITs now, 20 or 15 of them. We have so many of the scientific laboratories. We can today shoot the satellites. We have high-class technologists in the country. In IT, we are the top, almost the top in software.
We have these satellites.
Now, we have
the worst civil engineers in India.
No, and we have
Saigal
the...
Saab,
No, I don't agree.
Our civil engineering in India is the worst.
I don't agree.
No, I'm not looking for
Anyway,
agreement. I'm just
you are not
making a
looking for
point.
agreement, but you are making a statement.
Yeah.
I am on a path that what we need, or it should have done long back, but if we have not done, let us do it now. Use technology.
So who will
No.
bell this cat?
Yeah.
We bell the cat here.
See,
we have to use media.
You look at the
to bell the cat.
newspapers, you look at the television media. Now, newspapers, some of our newspapers, literally on page 3, which used to be party news, now every newspaper on page 3 now has problem and solution. Stray dog menace, what
Look
is the
at
solution?
what this one lady,
Everybody.
Leena Dhankar, I don't know if you've read about her or read her, out of Gurugram for Hindustan Times. And I must say, whether it's R. Sukumar, the editor, or Leena Dhankar, they're the only newspaper in Gurugram that have been focusing on citizen problems day in and day out. And as she rightly says, before and after.
What he's saying, if the media does that, it'd be like, oh, is it the BJP government? Do you really want the
Exactly.
Congress? Congress did this, BJP did this. Nobody cares. People don't care. Once vote has been done, results are out, you are now in power. Do not give excuses that if it's not us, it's going to be
I'll give you
them.
2 examples of where a good bureaucrat using technology can be effective. Indore,
Yes, and Lucknow.
Surat, Indore,
and
so many
Lucknow,
places.
and Surat. Surat was the first.
Yeah.
Now, if it can
It
be
was
done in...
plague-ridden.
Let me say this.
If it
Look
can
at
be
what
done in-
Narendra Modi did in Gujarat with the refreshment of the Sabarmati.
Yeah.
What he did as chief minister. So where
You
there
have
is
Omar
political-
Abdullah jogging
Omar,
by the
where there is
by the
political
riverfront
leadership,
today.
Saigal Saab, things happen. Sheila Dikshit. You had Arvind Kejriwal, a total anarchist, absolute who became chief minister and who brought the state to further ruin. Now let's see what Rekha Gupta does. You know, other than inaugurating sewers, I don't know what else is going to happen. So you're absolutely right.
She has come now. What was her problem was that the monsoons were coming. So you have to clean
So
the
ये
drains.
इनकी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, हर साल मानसून आते हैं.
हर साल मानसून आती है.
हाँ, तो ये
What I'm
न्यू
saying
चीफ
is,
मिनिस्टर
what
की
I'm-
प्रॉब्लम
she has
नहीं
no-
है.
Haley's comet थोड़ी है कि
He has
it's
not
coming.
got the time to think on a long-term basis.
No, they
At the
should have
moment.
had a
At the
plan
moment.
in place
No,
before they came into office.
There was no plan, no. You are talking of
Their
Kejriwal.
plan is only to come to power.
Kejriwal was there for 10 years. Where
No,
did
koi
he draw a
baat nahi,
plan?
sir.
His
BJP
only
was
plan
planning to come to
is
office for 20 years.
It is not a BJP Congress.
Huh.
It is a technology versus non-technology.
Got it.
Now, if we have, why can't we develop the technology? We have to develop it. If we have to clean the water before it goes into the groundwater, can we clean it or can we not? Let us have an answer. If we can't, then of course we'll have to find other solutions. But if we can, why don't we do it?
So,
If
you
the
know, to take
NDMC
forward
can-
what Saigal Sahab is saying, and I like this one point he's made. We have obliterated the use of technology in civil planning and in civil infrastructure.
Absolutely.
We have no care. A, B, you know, I used to be on the global board of British Airways, the advisory board. And once we were taken to China, way before the Beijing Olympics. And when we reached the airport, we found that almost 60% of the airport was lying shuttered. So I asked someone, I said, why? They said, that we will stagger. So I said, in the sense, he says, that planning is being done for 2040, 2040. We build today based on 1947. ये हमारा हाल है. No one is thinking of the forward planning process. A, B. You know, you talk about Gurugram, and I'll tell you, because KP Singh, the founder of DLF, has written that in his book. Gurugram, you're absolutely right, but it did not come because of Hindustan Lever. It came because of GE. Genpact was the first company to get in there to do all their BPT, you know, all the back office transfer processing. Then Gurugram built. Today, it is a travesty, Smita, that some of India's largest companies are headquartered there. Coca-Cola, Hero MotoCorp, Deloitte, EY. You have 5 hospitals, Apollo, Max, Medanta, Fortis. You have everything, but you don't have an infrastructure. I mean, how bizarre is the fact that some of the wealthiest people in India live in Gurugram, but they live in slum-like environments.
So this is, he's speaking about Gurugram, it's the same
In Delhi.
Or you go further, it's the same with Bangalore, it's the same with Chennai, with Mumbai. We just have to endlessly wait for development to happen. For our cities which are bursting at the seams.
We've become a country of suffering and sufferers.
I tell you, the bureaucracy is under severe criticism for right reasons. But the point is, where have we involved technology? What is the position of the chief engineer or the engineer-in-chief of the PWD in the hierarchy of the government? He's nowhere. You will not see him in any important meeting. He's nowhere there.
Oh my God.
And today, there are a number of IITians who have come into the IAS.
Yeah.
And look at the impact they are making. But they can only make an impact in a little circle in which they are ruling. And bureaucrats have been told to be very cautious in this. Don't tread on somebody else's territory. You are Secretary Environment, look after environment. Your job is not now to interfere with the PWD. Now the point is, let us use, and I am repeating this, because technology is no longer a foreigner for us. In fact, most of our bright engineers are outside. Bring them back if you want to. Otherwise, any IIT is today producing first-class engineers. Bring them in, put them in give them one task. Your task is, how do we clean the water that we take?
But there are enough centers for urban renewal.
There are these pockets of development. Now look at Bangalore. It's supposed to be Silicon Valley of India and everything. But it's literally gridlocked. There are some areas it can take you 2 hours to finish 1 kilometer or less than that. Less than a kilometer also is 2 hours. If you're going for business, you can literally have 1 meeting a day there. You cannot have 2 meetings.
Absolutely.
So you can't, like any city, you go, you take the morning flight, do your couple of meetings and take the evening flight back to Delhi. But you cannot do that with Bangalore. You have to stay overnight in Bangalore for 2 meetings in a day. This is ridiculous.
1963, Atal Setu, which is today Atal Setu, was planned. Commissioned last year. This is the tragedy. And you know what, Smita, and I hope with your program and with the amplification always gets, the people in the judiciary realize, you know why the judges don't get upset? Because they live in great homes. Unke wahan flooding nahi hoti. Aur agar hoti hai, they laugh it off. So the judges don't care. If I were a judge of the Supreme Court or a state high court, I would wrap the government and the bureaucracy and the citizen on their knuckles. Because see, I don't want to only blame the government. The citizens, we are an apathetic lot. We don't contribute to nation building as much as we should.
So, you know,
I
here,
am
Suhel
with,
is...
with you on the judiciary, but the point is what the judiciary has effectively done is just stayed. They have stayed all our damn projects, they stay everything, they do nothing. And if
They
you
stay
see,
put.
If you, yes, stay. When you stay, you see 5-7 years later, they withdraw the stay after a few trees are planted here and there. Now the point is that such a negative judiciary. Now judiciary is just law. They have read their law books and they are great at that. They can quote Roman law, they can quote British law, they can American law, all law they can quote. But as far as the problems are concerned, it is the technology. These IIT
so, but
fellows.
मेरे को बताइए आप कि बैंगलोर नहीं बैंगलोर की बताइए ना वहाँ पे तो सारी टेक्नोलॉजी है.
I am keep repeating technology again and again because I am amongst the first IIT engineers to have entered the IAS, and throughout our engineering skills have been put in the background.
Exactly.
So what is the Chief Minister of Karnataka doing when he has all these engineers there, when you have Narayan Murthy sitting
chief
there?
engineer is more spending more time on keeping his flock together than he gets time to.
Correct. He's actually locked Shiv Kumar in the closet.
That's the problem. It's not Karnataka. It is every state. You see the people who are powerful. UP is.
But Yogi's done a great job.
Has changed the face of UP.
But Yogi Adityanath has done it.
That's what I'm saying. He has done it because he has the power.
And this was supposed to be an area of darkness,
right? You may hate something I'm about to say. I was born and raised in Calcutta. The communists ruined that state and the city. Let me tell you, all you might say about Mamata Banerjee, Calcutta has had the kind of urban renewal I have not seen in a long time. And that is because Mamata Banerjee herself is committed. So, where there is political will, political leadership, look at Kerala. No matter which chief minister, it is maintained to very high standards. Look at what we are doing to our hill stations. Look at what we are... See, when we are looking at urban renewal, look at the entire urban renewal.
You know, like you go to... if I now take the name of one hill station, they will say कि तुमने उसका नहीं बोला, इसका नहीं बोला.
आप नैनीताल का हाल देखो.
Look at Simla, look at any of the... Himachal, Mandi, all these places, annual flooding, वही बात है कि वो तो होता ही है. Now, irregular construction, हर जगह construction allow कर दिया. Now, I mean, waste... Hospital waste thrown down the hills. You know, all these hotels throw down, these unregulated hotels throw down their waste down the hills. Plastics all over the place.
मैं आपको एक बात बोलूं सर. ताज in Goa, उनका एक आदमी मेरे को कह रहा था कि जो सारी हमारी प्लास्टिक बॉटल्स जो वेस्ट होती हैं, डिस्पोज करते हैं, you know what they're doing? They're making benches out of that. There are people who are using recycled plastic to build roads.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there has to be a process.
You need technological solutions,
right,
which we have to develop.
I totally agree.
And the government focus should no longer be on the traditional planning.
Yes.
DD aa gaya, ye aa gaya, we have drawn up the master plan, we have done this. No longer regional plans. They are not effective. They have all failed. They should now work out a technology mission for urban areas. And some bright engineers, like in the ISRO and they should sit there, or DRDO, they should just sit there and work on those problems. When they find these solutions, then you need Modis and Yogis to see that they are implemented.
Yeah.
You need powerful politician. But he comes later. Let us give him an answer. Let us give him a solution. Let us give him a solution which works. We have not done that.
And you know, Smita, I said that even in my Express thing earlier. Narendra Modi launched Swachh Bharat, and we all laughed. Oh, Swachh Bharat. It was the most significant move that he made, and I'll tell you why. When people come to India, they have only two issues. Is it clean? Is it hygienic? If Swachh Bharat, as he addressed it, would have been the biggest problem solver. But we cannot expect the Prime Minister of India to do everything himself. What have his state governments done? What have the states done? What have people who follow him done? What have average citizens done?
But
no one's done a damn.
It also depends where some leaders who take their cue from Mr. Modi, like Shivraj Chauhan took it upon himself. And you look at Indore.
It's amazing.
It wins
Bhopal?
Bhopal. And the
Chandigarh,
roads,
despite
Chandigarh,
Balwant Singh Maan and Naib Singh Saini living there, they haven't been able to ruin it. I mean, beyond a point.
It was a planned city because of that. I mean, originally planned city.
Chandigarh
Abhi
is
bhi
not
hai.
getting the sort of refugees who are coming to Delhi. Delhi is attracting people, now internal refugees. Biharis, UP,
Hey, but don't call them
Kerala.
refugees, sir.
No, I'm not calling them
Migrants, so
refugees.
whatever
They are
you
not
want to say.
refugees. They are in migrants.
But
They
you
are
know
migrants.
what? Delhi never sees the word refugee as a negative, because in the sense
We
that
are all refugees.
it was a city.
Y'all
which
are,
was-
I'm not.
I am. I mean,
what
my
I'm
father
trying to
was.
say is that exactly.
My parents were born in Amritsar. I'm a happy pre-partition Indian and post-partition Indian.
So what happens is that refugees contributed a lot to this city.
Absolutely.
So as a result of that, the word refugee did not have the connotation that other places had. In Delhi, that is the
We
history
call
of
them
that.
migrants. It's all right. I'll call them migrants. They are migrants. They have a right to move anywhere they like in the city. They come here because the jobs are here. They go to Gurugram because the jobs are there. They don't go to other cities because jobs are not there. You go to Bangalore, where are the jobs except for high-class IT professionals? So we have to find jobs. We have to find now. I'm talking of basically when we talk of infrastructure, we don't talk of technology at all. Why are all our houses built with concrete and bricks?
Absolutely.
There is not a single house in America which is made with bricks.
The point he just made, I
Very
want to say,
important.
it's a very critical point. My wife and child and we live in Goa. My wife and child live there. In Goa, we have got on our property 2,118 trees. 6 swales. You talk about water. We have not used any marble, concrete, nothing. You know why? Because that ecosystem doesn't need it, doesn't deserve it. You need the old-fashioned tiling system.
Precisely.
But what has happened in Goa? Wahi haal hai.
Wahi haal hai.
People from Delhi and
Yahan
Bombay
se,
have come and they
builders.
have buggered up the city. They have ruined it. They don't maintain any stretch of the old world Portuguese, design sense. There are 3 things that are happening, Saigal Saab, to my mind. Number 1, we have lost technology in civil engineering. Number 2, we have no aesthetics left in our country. See our government buildings, see our other high rises. They look ugly as sin. Number 3, we don't have motivations for citizens and governments to partner each other. The late Sheila Dikshit managed that through Bhagidari. And let me tell you, that was an important step forward.
But I'm sure there is a database of all these cities have of people who are willing to help. Especially, like you have schools. जब schools के सामने जब parking की issue होती है, then you have parents who come in and monitor the parking.
I used to be in safety patrol.
Yeah, safety patrol. So now this is what they do.
I'll give you an example how you involve citizens
Ji.
who have spare time, doctors, professionals,
Retired corporate leaders.
people
Army
retired
people.
like me. We are plenty. We are today sort of sharks on this thing. We are just eating up resources, giving nothing back. Now, I had suggested a scheme when I was in the planning secretary in Delhi called SAFE, Society for this thing. Now, in SAFE, what you did was you made a group. At that time, computers were not very well developed. Today they are. Basis. I gave 2 hours. I'm a doctor. I'm a dentist. I give you 2 hours a week. I can give you 2 hours a week. Now, I went put to DPS, that you go to DPS school and check up the children there and come back.
Brilliant.
And then solve the problem. Now, if you create a database like this, in today's overgrown cities, you'll have lakhs of people.
Yeah.
Lakhs of people who are willing to give their time free. High-class people. The Suhel Seths, the Smita Prakash, the people who are, of course, you people are busy, but people like me who are free. Of course, I'm not a technologist. You get the technology people. You get people like Mashalkar, who are retired. He was CSIR DG for a long time. You have people like this just sitting here.
Yeah.
Because he's not sitting here. He's working hard.
No, but
Pune,
this is what is
Why
required
don't
for
we make a
Bangalore.
database?
This is what is
So-
required for Mumbai.
I'll
This
give
is
you-
what is required for Delhi.
So you want a solution,
So
I'll give you a
SAFE
solution.
is social assistance for everybody. Now, a SAFE station, if it is headed by the DCP, because the DCP and then you have the DC also there at the district level. It may not be relevant. It is relevant in Delhi because there are now 12 to 13 districts there. You just make a database. People like this. There is a case of an adolescent who is misbehaving. Instead of sending him to the police station, send one social worker to him. Find out why he is behaving like this. Suddenly he finds that his home is a broken home, whatever. That problem will only be tackled by people who are not in government, people who are not in jobs, people who have no vested interest, people who have no making
So let
no
me give
money.
you a solution. In the middle 1980s, I may have mentioned it to you offline, we started something called Concern for Calcutta. Because as I told you, Calcutta was in a mess. What happened was we adopted one ward, at that time called Ward 63. It was the entire Park Street stretch. Why? Because all the heavy hitters would travel through that. The Chief Minister's convoy would go through that. What did that entail? It got corporations, it got advertising, marketing people involved, and we collected money. We created rail guards, for pedestrians. We created pathways. We did signage designs. This morning, and it's so ironic and so serendipitous that we are having this podcast today, this morning I've mooted a Concern for Gurugram. Can we set up a body called Concern for Gurugram, which, as Saigal Saab said, will have the very people, retired people from the defense services, people from the corporate world, companies, where we make one road, in this case the golf course road, as the showcase, to tell people, when you come together, when you participate, urban renewal will happen. See, I'm a great believer, Saigal Saab, that unless we are positive about the future, we will never be able to address the present.
This group is good, but it should be part of the government.
No, government will kill it.
No, it should have authority. It should have authority.
We don't need
Otherwise,
authority.
We need authority.
As my late
No
grandmother
one
would
is
say,
going to,
Lattu
no one is going
Jalayan.
to listen to you unless you have authority. If I am living in a juggi and you go there and say juggi chodo, I am not going to leave it.
No, we don't want anyone to leave.
No, you don't want anyone to leave, but you want him to build a better house. You want him to, after all, in this juggi, he can't be resettled because the master plan doesn't allow it.
We are not doing this work. What we are doing is actually creating a motivational benchmark to show how citizen government cooperation can yield better results.
I'll explain to you, for example, what he's saying. Let's take this case of the stray dog menace. It's become so bad. Lavaris pashu, as they say. Now, in urban centers, it's there in the tier 2 towns, and it's also the cows and stray cattle which come in. But let's just talk about dogs. People don't take out their dogs for walk. They ask their house help to take the dog for a walk. Some of them have these ferocious dogs. They're not under muzzle, and they have these very weak looking, maid or a person or chowkidar or whatever taking the dog out for a walk. And it's just today in Gurugram, lady going for a walk, and that dog just went crazy and he bit her. He yanked her by the arm and pulled her.
Because I have 8 dogs. We are dog lovers. That lady should be arrested and shot. I'll tell you why. She has a husky. She has a ferocious dog.
No. I'm talking about the woman that the dog
No.
attacked.
The woman who was walking the dog.
Walking the dog.
The
But
rules
you have a law.
No, the rules
The
abroad are
point
very
is
clear.
the law is not implemented.
The rules
Law
Law
is not implemented.
Exactly,
Law is
but
not
who's going to
implemented.
implement? The rules
So
are very
that's
clear.
what he was saying, that if the citizen group goes and tells that woman that
Precisely.
you cannot have this dog, nobody's going to listen to it. She's saying, tum kaun ho?
Precisely.
Then that citizen group has to go to the police station, lodge an FIR. Nobody wants
But
to
which
take
is why
that.
I'm
See,
saying, Smita, the government will
I'm
be
not
part.
persuading you.
You are talking of the Bhagidari system. In the Bhagidari system, what authority does the RWA have?
Yeah.
It is not even selected by law. You can have 20 RWAs in the same colony. It's just an 8% get together and make an RWA. Now, there should be a law. RWA, Bhagidari, and the small challans, which are with the MCD, should be given to them.
Yeah.
So if
That's a great idea. You start a campaign.
If kuda, if garbage is found outside your house, I'm going to find you 50 rupees.
Which, by the way, is the law.
Yeah.
So law should give me the power, no?
Do you know there's a law for C&D construction debris? If that debris is found outside your home, or if they trace it to a contractor or developer, no one implements because everyone is on the take.
Yeah.
The nexus is
Precisely,
also
the
there.
power is with the municipal
See, for example,
inspectors.
all
The
in our
inspector's power-
area, they've come and dug up the area around all the trees, that we are going to fortify this area so that the trees don't fall during the monsoon. So they came and they dug it up. The monsoons arrived. They haven't done anything, and now the trees are about to fall. The worry now is if that tree falls and it's in front of my house, it'll either fall
On
the car, or I will be blamed for the tree which has fallen because I have broken the tree or cut, which is a non-bailable offence or whatever it is, because it's horticulture का कुछ law है. तो पेड़ अगर गिर जाए तो मुसीबत, it's like killing a elephant. It's really like that.
But I'll tell you, we need
But that's
something.
the law, but it has, whereas it been implemented. See, implementation should be with the citizens. At least not like USA, where they elect the sheriffs are elected. The people
The
who
mayors
have
are
the legal
elected.
power, they are elected.
Yeah, not
Now,
here.
here, they are not elected, and this is, I think, too premature to have elected people there. But this, in the Bhagidari system, if you have an RWA, have a law which recognizes the RWA, and you will be an RWA XYZ is to be the condition, that RWA can give the following: the municipal powers are with the RWA or with authorities appointed by the RWA. That power will give that effective authority. Otherwise, now you go, ha jodo, कि मैंने कुत्ते का ख्याल रखो. Well, he's a hell with you. Go.
But
go what
my
you want
point
to
is
do.
that where the laws exist, the citizens don't care. Where I live, that entire complex, DLF has set up a pet creche.
Yeah, put a shelter.
That pet shelter or pet creche is for stray dogs.
Yeah.
Look, you cannot be. There's a great sign on Park Lane in London which has on concrete carvings of animals, and it says, in memory of the animals who laid down their lives in World War II, full stop, because they didn't have a choice. When you're humane towards animals, you are actual humanity. We cannot be dismissive about, our pets.
No, we have
but
to
yes,
live with
there
them.
are laws.
Got it, yeah.
Follow the laws, follow the humanity.
So, it never occurs to these people, instead कि पत्तल में डाल के खाना दे दो, तो some Bhagwan ji is going to say, okay, तुमने खाना खिला दिया. No, that's not it. Just like you have gaushalas, you make for stray dogs and stray cats or whatever, so that they can stay there. Nobody's saying euthanize them. ये तो नहीं है. That's not a solution. But what is happening is that it becomes nobody's solution, nobody's problem.
The problem should be of the Bhagidari system, should be of the RWA. And RWA should have authority to implement it. This stray dog menace is a menace. There's no doubt. I'm not talking of the dogs who are our pets,
Sure.
because we look after them at least. Who looks after the stray dogs? They are there just moving around. We don't even know if all of them have been vaccinated. And they run after vehicles. They don't
And
do
children.
it. They know it.
It's because they're laborers who are building these flyovers. Their children are on the pavements.
If the responsibility in the Bhagidari system is of the RWA, the people living there are going to ask him. The inspector is not available to you.
Yeah.
You can be very unhappy with the MCD, and you can tell Ashwini that your people are not doing the job. How does it help? If I am there in a group of 1,000 in the Bhagidari system, 1,000 families in a Bhagidari, and out of these 5 families are running the show, I will go to him or her. Madam,
ये करो.
हाँ ये करो, अब क्यों नहीं कर रहे? वो कहेंगे हमारी पावर नहीं है, पावर होनी चाहिए.
But there's, citizens also push back against the RWAs. During COVID, the RWAs had a lot of power, right? They wouldn't allow people to take a walk and said, you can't do this.
Look at the way they shut gates in colonies. It's a ghettoization of Delhi.
So RWAs ke against me. So while you're saying RWAs should have power, there are a lot of people like, for example, RWAs है यहाँ bachelors नहीं रह सकते, only family. So where do bachelors go? So these kind of vegetarians only residences, no non-vegetarian
Look at what's happening
allowed.
in Bombay.
So yeah, so some people say that because we are of a particular faith, we are not allowed. Single women के लिए allowed नहीं है. Single women अगर हैं, तो you will enter and exit at this time, no night duty. Weird things which these RWAs come because
We've become an insensitive country.
They're not governed by any
No, but I think
set
we
laws.
still have to empower them. You should be empowered.
Okay.
Otherwise, that good scheme, which was started, the Bhagidari, wrong, it was started much earlier than Sheila Dikshit.
No, I gave the name. Sheila Dikshit, check.
You may have
Google
given
it.
the name, Bhagidari, but the system was there earlier.
Yeah, sure.
The point was, which I suggested to the Chief Minister at that time, Sir, Kanoon le aao. Kanoon may recognize them. Let them be elected or let them be selected in a certain manner so that you don't have 3 of them operating in the same area. So that was not done. That has still not been done. So how is the Bhagidari scheme a success?
But
It's a huge failure.
you tell us, since you've been a bureaucrat, you've been chief secretary, who anywhere in the world, if something doesn't get done, you have a neck to guillotine. Who is accountable in this country today for the urban decay we are experiencing? You please tell me, as a former bureaucrat, who is responsible? It's all right to say, ye hona chahiye, wo hona chahiye. You tell me, who is responsible?
वो नहीं मैं कह रहा हूँ. I am not fixing responsibility. The responsibility has to be fixed by law. It cannot be sitting here, 3 people sit here and start fixing responsibility. That CM
No,
is responsible.
who in your mind is responsible for what we are today?
The system. This system is all wrong. We have not involved the day-to-day person. It is once in 5 years they elect
If you
and then
find
throw it
system
away.
on the street, give me a call, but I'll come and shoot the system.
No, tell me one thing, that the citizen is involved only once in 5 years, or if there is a by-election or something, and maybe twice in 5 years, otherwise he's not involved.
You know, Suhel, this is like what happens is that we keep saying politicians are at fault, but none of us want to get into politics. People who can bring about a change, ganda hai. So, you know, what ultimately happens is sons and daughters of politicians, sons-in-law and daughters-in-law of politicians, because there's money needed to fight politics. People who want to bring a change, they get frustrated and leave politics. What happens with bureaucrats, I'm a daughter of a bureaucrat, I know this, that, you know, if you stick your neck out and do something, you tend to get guillotined. Because, like he said, तुम्हारा काम environment है, तुम इस पे मत पड़ो. So if you're a file pusher, you will continue to keep rising in that.
So
If
what
you
is the
do anything-
solution?
So that's what I'm saying. Like what he said, system, unfortunately, system is
We are all
such-
part of the system.
Yeah, so the system of governance is such that it's strangulated any kind of positive behavior. So it's really up to citizens to push these guys.
I think we will
in the
start
system.
concern for Gurugram. To hell with the government, to hell with the system.
Yes,
देखी
somebody.
जाएगी.
You know, if course correction अपने आप होता है when there are no rules. जब rules नहीं होता तो they say, oh, this is not working. अगर garbage bins नहीं provide कर रहे हैं, चलो हम लोग let's collect money and make the garbage bins. What else can one do? So it has to be done. Otherwise, people will just keep dumping. Like in Gurugram, now somebody suggested that entire golf course road, people were dumping malba there. सब उठा के जहाँ construction हो रहा है आके you chuck
Absolutely,
it.
it's called the Pahadi Rasta.
The Pahadi Rasta. So, you know, there are these 100 crore, 200 crore farmhouses.
And those are the
houses.
rascals, which is why I'm saying the citizen is also to blame. The developers, many of them are to blame. The real estate people are to blame. But the point is, what about those citizens who have not violated the law, who have not broken the law, who follow the law, assiduously? Where do they go? Where is their succor? Where is their recourse? And that's what we want to do.
Brand India की बात चल रही है, तो I have to ask you the news of the day. What do you have to say to what Trump said, that we have a dead economy, and Rahul Gandhi agreeing with Donald Trump about...
So as I said about Rahul Gandhi, his self-hatred has now become a hatred for India. His angst against Narendra Modi has morphed into an angst against India. He's an irresponsible Indian. He's an ineffective leader of opposition. He's petulant. He's rude. To my mind, he is showing a total lack of upbringing. It's a travesty that he belongs to a dynasty that was once part of our freedom struggle. The behavior of Rahul Gandhi is abysmal. If I were his mother and he was older, I would have slapped him. You don't talk about the Prime Minister. You don't talk about people the way he does. You don't sit in Parliament as if you're sitting in a dance bar. And most certainly, you don't bitch out your own country. That's why they don't come to power. You know why? Every young Indian, or for that matter, every Indian,
will see his comments today. India mein kya hai? It's a dead economy. Is this your belief? Is this what you value about your country? Is this your level of confidence in your country's own abilities? For God's sake, this man runs a party who's in government in some states. What will those people feel? I'm telling you, I have never ever said anything nasty about Rahul Gandhi. I was the first to praise him after Bharat Jodo Yatra. But over the last 2 years, he has become such a disgrace, not only to his family, but to Indianness and to the idea of India. I'm sad that it has come to this.
Why do we judge our own country by foreign standards? Let him say.
Exactly.
He has a right to say anything he likes. We can't take away that right from him.
And he's unhinged.
We have a right. For instance, we have not signed the trade agreement.
Yeah.
There were 6 meetings, or I don't know how many times our buy went there. Too much pressure. Why? Because 50% of our people are engaged in farming. Just 6% of America produces enough to feed the world. These people cannot compete with the farmer in America. It's
Very
impossible. True. Look at this level of mechanization. Look at the level of our mechanizations. Farms, 1 acre farms, half acre farms, 100-acre farms, 200-acre farms. How can you compete? He can't. So we have not accepted. I think this is the boldest step government has taken, and we should now say, to hell with you.
Exactly.
Let it be 25%. We will now find other sources for our goods. We will sell our goods not
And there
to
are
you.
other markets.
FTAs have been signed with
And
others countries.
we should get out our technologists from the USA. We should tell the
To hell with their bloody Boeings.
Get out.
Buy Airbus.
Come and do the same thing here. They will not come, or they will come. That is up to them.
Sure.
But we should now be proud that we are facing this fellow.
You know, if I were Rahul Gandhi, I would have never said what he did.
Nee, Rahul Gandhi, I will not judge.
I'll tell you why. I would have said that what has happened today is despicable. On one day, you tell the Prime Minister, call Trump a liar. On the other day, you believe in what Trump is saying. I mean, look at the intellectual innocence of this man. I mean, he's so daft that he can't even understand what he's saying. I actually feel sad for him.
We are at this crossroads right now.
I don't feel sad for him. I feel sad for his party that you have accepted. This is the oldest party in India. You see, Gandhi himself wrote the constitution in his own hand. I don't know if you've seen that. It's part of his collected works. Where is that constitution now? It's gone. The first thing that Nehru did was that the AICC, the PCC presidents will be appointed by the AICC chief. Earlier it was bottom up. Now it is top down. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is this party not only accepts him, not only accepts his sister, they are willing to accept the sister's children also.
Oh, hoga.
Wo hoga. So the party is willing to accept, I'm saying. I don't know if the country is willing to accept.
Election jeetna padega, but
so
it's
election
okay.
jeetenge, nahi jeetenge, it doesn't matter. They'll put them in the Rajya Sabha. So there are certain parts of the country, there are certain areas, I will not talk of communal tensions here, who will work for anybody who is not somebody else. I mean, I'm not taking any names now. We know who is that. So 15 to 16% of the people are going to vote. Rahul Gandhi, whichever Gandhi, whoever is opposing the
Modi.
Okay.
Or Hindus, just say it.
No, I will not say this, but that is true. Now, the point is that we have to now get out of our shells. We now call a spade a spade. We call Churchill a murderer.
Call out his bluff.
Can't a man like Churchill who says Gandhi died. He writes in this note. Now, we can't accept them as world leaders. We cannot accept them at all. This government is wrong when it puts Gandhi in the place where they are trying to put him. This is all nonsense. They are both Gandhi and all are people who will live much beyond these governments.
Let's get back to the situation right now. We are at this juncture where one has to take some tough decisions, right? And the government may not sign the deal finally with America, whatever. But it's this self-loathing Indian. It's not in consonance with
But
many
it's
of
not
us.
Indian. I beg your pardon. It is not Indian. Smita, understand what has happened to him. He is now, at a point of derision. You know, there are two things that happen in human behavior. One is I can listen to Mr. Saigal or I can disagree with Mr. Saigal. But suppose Mr. Saigal is sitting and I'm totally indifferent. That is the worst insult. People have become indifferent to him and his intellect, or the lack of it. When you're faced with irrelevance, you stretch at the claws of controversy. These are stretching at the claws of controversy. That I will say something so bizarre that I will create a mood where people, and he's absolutely right. There are many Indian loathing people in our country. Many of our, brethren.
Yeah.
They are. And they will remain. You cannot have an entire nation which is totally positive about India.
But what we need more and
But
more...
we will make India great, regardless of what a Rahul Gandhi or an Akhilesh Yadav says. You know why? Because the idea of India is greater than their derision of this nation.
Sir, there was an author in my show who's written a book about this the third wave of Indians leaving the country. The first wave were the indentured laborers who left. Then came the 70s when the tech guys who went to the Middle East or who went to America, wo chale gaye the. And now we are talking about sons and daughters of billionaires who are leaving India. And he's written an entire book in which he's explained, of course, I was not agreeing with some of the things, but there is data to prove that some of them just don't want to be part of the billion-dollar companies that their parents have created, their father or their mother have created, and they want to live in, and they don't want to live in the gated colonies of Delhi or Bombay or Chennai or whatever, because once you get out of the gated colonies, then it is craziness, that they don't want to that. They want that suburban lifestyle. Good for them. Jana hai jao. My thing is jao. I don't care. Go. If 200,000 Indians want to leave India in 2025, go. मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Those who are here are invested in this country. So I just want that those who are here shouldn't be self-loathing. And if they are self-loathing, they should not be part of the decision-making in this country.
Absolutely. You know what, Saigal Sahab, what my worry is? If I hate my country so much, and if I'm the Prime Minister, and as leader of opposition, I'm sharing national security matters with you, what guarantee do I have that you will not open your mouth? What guarantee do I have that you will? So that's my problem.
Yeah.
In fact, my appeal through this podcast to Narendra Modi would be disband the cooperation that you are having with the leader of opposition. Because he is not opposing the BJP. Today, Rahul Gandhi is opposing India, Indianness and the idea of India. And that is unacceptable. And I, as a citizen, have the right to request my Prime Minister to stop all engagement where matters of national interest or national fiscal authority are concerned. He doesn't need to engage with him. If this is what the man thinks of us, we don't need to engage.
Yeah.
No, I will. I'm a citizen and I'm mad.
Opposition is important. The opposition is important for any democracy. If we are to remain a democracy, opposition is important.
Ji.
Whether it is BJP or it is Congress.
But oppose on ideas, sir.
It is Akhilesh. The point is the opposition is important, so you have to engage with it. The opposition has to start behaving. And I am not a BJP man or a non-BJP man or anything of the sort. This nonsense in Parliament was started during BJP period.
Yes.
So they are the ones who said walk out, हम काम नहीं करने देंगे, हम शोर मचाते रहेंगे. Earlier to that, this never happened.
Yeah.
So they are now facing the same.
You remember they said it's the government's job to run Parliament.
Facing the same music,
Yeah.
which they have themselves created.
Yeah.
So I will now say that no. You must engage with the opposition. I will not talk of Rajiv Gandhi or anything of the sort. There is an opposition.
No, Rajiv Gandhi is not there.
Opposition has many sensible people. It is not that the opposition has all, this is one family. There are other people in the opposition. You engage with them.
Okay.
At least your ministers should engage with them. And so that the democracy remains. We don't want tomorrow to become a dictatorship of Modi or anybody. So you should now have a democracy where the people have a right, but people are also involved. I am again saying this. The RWA scheme will be successful if you give legal statutory powers to the RWAs. Give them statutory power. Jurmana lagaye. Kutte ko le jao rahe ho.
That's a good point.
I am going to fine you. I will fine you.
And some of these gated colonies have the rule that if you have a pet dog, then for each pet dog you pay X amount for poop collection or for cleaning
Absolutely.
or whatever. And this should be in the non-gated colonies as well. And then have shelters for strays. This is my appeal through this podcast, that
Make it a
please
law.
have
Make it a
shelters
law.
like you
Make
have
it a law.
goshalas, have for dogs as well, so that our streets are safe. And of course there are several other issues which we can pick up, but then short of time, otherwise street lighting, traffic management, signages. These are things which I wish I had more time. I want to end this quickly so that I can post produce it and put it out as soon as possible. Thank you, Suhel,
Thank
for
you so
spending
much.
so much time with us. Thank you, sir, for coming and explaining what happened during your time and what should be done in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling us.
Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the NI Podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen this or heard this. Namaste, Jai Hind. This episode is powered by easemytrip.com. Click here to watch the previous episodes.